cooking. We're gonna make us some food now. Cooking.
So, g'day Australia and welcome to another cooking episode on All for Adventure. Now, recipes, I love doing recipes, and a lot of people ask me where I get the recipes from. Well, I'll tell you what, mate, I sort of read a lot, get little bits and pieces from recipes from other people, and then I sort of tweak them a bit. And I tweak them the All for Adventure way. And the whole idea of the reason why I sort of do the cookbooks and stuff like that is so that I can make it easier for you. So rather than make complicated recipes that you think you can only do at home, what I do is simplify those recipes so you can do them in the bush with minimal ingredients. Now, so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do a pineapple crush and coconut slice. First of all, we'll get some ingredients out of the pantry here in the camper trailer. There we go. So we're going to need some of that. We're going to need some of that, some crushed pineapple, some shredded coconut, and of course some icing mixture. Oh, and don't forget the sugar. So we'll get all those ingredients. We'll chuck them up here. Alrighty, so the beauty of this sort of recipe is it's easy to prepare, which is my motto, but it's also quite tasty. Let's face it, everyone likes a bit of sweet stuff in the bush. There's no doubt about that. So what I'm going to do is we're going to make a base, right? So I'm going to use this flan tin because I want to make it thin. I don't want a big fat thing like a cake. I want it thin, like a slice. So we're going to use the flan tin as our base. We've got the trusty bowl and we're going to cook it in the camp oven. So we'll put a bit of this sugar in. I'm just going to sprinkle in about that much. We're going to need some self-raising flour. So we're going to chuck a bit of that in. So a bit of self-raising flour, that'll do. Let's grab some eggs out of the fridge. So we're going to crack 2 eggs in there. Pop them in. There's 1. And there's 2. Grab that shell out. We don't want any shell in there. Makes it too crunchy. All right. So, of course, we need some crushed pineapple. Now, I'm going to get rid of the syrup in this, so we're going to drain that off. Now, the beauty of camping out in the bush is you can just dribble that onto the dirt and the ants will clean that sucker up. Remember, don't leave your rubbish lying around, but you can do little things like that, I'm sure. So we'll get rid of the moisture out of that. And the reason for that is because we don't want the crushed pineapple as the moisture. We want to use coconut cream as the moisture. So let's whack that in. There's some crushed pineapple. I've just chucked in a few handfuls of that stuff. All right, we'll give that a quick mix and we'll see how wet this mixture is to start with. Get those eggs in there good and the sugar all mixed up with the flour. There you go, so that's coming together nicely there. Now you can see the crushed pineapple will moisten up the mixture a bit. I've got some coconut cream here. It's been rattling around in my drawer for a long time. You can see it's all busted up. So I'm going to dribble a little bit in. Don't put the whole lot in. You won't use that whole tin. Trust me, you only use a small amount. Mix her up. Oh, that's starting to look good now. Look real good. I'm happy with that consistency right there. You can see it. See that? That'll sit nicely in our tin because we are making a slice. Now, you're going to say to me, oh, so where's the coconut come into it? Well, we've got some shredded coconut here. That's going to come in later when we do the topping. So at the moment, we've just got some coconut milk in there. So we need to grease our tin up. And one of my really good friends said this to me, and she's a really good cook, Sonia. The trick is, yes, do the butter, all right? Then you grab this and you grab the flour, all right? So you grab a handful of flour, all right, and you make sure you get out of the breeze and you go sprinkle some flour on it. Look at that. Bit of flour on top. Now that apparently, it won't stick. So let's try that method. Thanks, Sonia, if you're watching. All right, let's get her in here. Okay, so in she goes, the whole lot. The whole shooting match goes in. Now remember, we're making a slice, not a cake. So the edges, that's it. Perfect. That's simple. That is our base for our slice. We're gonna get that sucker in the camp oven over there on the coals right now. We'll get that happening. In the meantime, I will quickly do the topping, which is the icing coconut topping. I can taste it now. All right, we'll stick that sucker in there. Perfect. All right, that needs to go on the coals. So now I'm not going to stick anything on the bottom because it's only a thin slice. It'll burn the crap out of it. So I'm going to stick everything on the top, and that will not take long at all. 20 minutes. All right guys, you can't have a slice without putting some icing on top because that seals the deal, I reckon. So we need some icing sugar, and I also need some butter. Now I've pulled the butter out of the fridge earlier on, and it's sitting over there on the sink getting nice and slightly melted, which is an important bit because you don't want to be trying to make icing with hard butter. It sucks. All right, so how much do we need? Well, let's make up a bit of a batch. So I'm just going to stick some icing sugar in there, about that much. That'll do. So let's grab some butter, which is perfectly nice and soft here. That's it. We'll get the ones on the edges. So we're going to put a fair bit of butter in there, probably about, I don't know, a couple of big heaped tablespoons of the stuff. Yep, there we go. Some thickened cream. All right, so we'll stick a bit of thickened cream in. I'm going to stick about that much in. Now, same old story. I just like to put a bit in and then check it as you go. So I need to mix that up. So, oh, that's looking flash. All right, so if you're making icing, make a bit extra. Don't be a stingy Bob. And otherwise they're not going to call you Camp Boss, they'll call you Camp Stingy Bob. I reckon our slice is going to be really close to being done. Oh, that's the money right there. That is the money. You know, that's the beauty of the spun steel camp oven. The speed in which it cooks is crazy. Oh, look at that. And look at that. I'm going to give full credit to Sonia about her little doesn't stick with the flour and the butter right there, because that just worked a treat. Okay, so don't just get your icing out of the fridge and whack it straight on, because it's just going to dribble off and be this big wet melted mess. We need to cool it down a bit. So we'll grab that and we'll actually stick that in the fridge and wait. There we go. All right guys, so that's now cooled down. Now I'm going to grab the icing out of the fridge, which I've also had in there, and then we're going to ice this up and she's going to be ready to rock and roll. All right, so let's get icing on the top. So we'll stick this, or as some people like to call it, frosting. So, oh, look at that. That's gold. All right, so let's open up some of our shredded coconut here, and this is where the shredded coconut comes into play, and we're going to stick that sucker on top like that. So that there, guys, is an awesome crushed pineapple and coconut slice. Hope you enjoy. Cooking.